Hello and welcome to At Home with the Harveys. I'm here with Gemma and Christine, and today we're going to be talking about Mauritius. Hello both.
Hello Jack, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic. Right, let's get straight into it then. For those that don't know much about Mauritius, where is it?
Mauritius is located in the Indian Ocean. It's just off of the east coast of Africa. It takes around 11-12 hours direct.
Could you tell me what Mauritius is famous for?
Oh, it's famous for hiking, its national parks. The most famous is for its rum. Is there anything else that you'd like
It's
to
got
add?
lots of beautiful white sand beaches. It's famous for its lagoons, so it's got quiet lagoons where you can go and do snorkeling. You've also got the reefs around the island so that you can go snorkeling on boat trips and things as well.
And what I like about it as well is the dolphins. You can go, watch in the mornings on the boats and hopefully see dolphins, which I have yet to see in the wild. So one day I might.
Well, maybe when I go to Mauritius, I'll spot them for you.
Well, that's no good, is it?
Because I haven't seen them either. Actually, going on from the dolphin watching, there's a really good place that you can visit for dolphin watching. If you go to the west coast, that's where a lot of the dolphin trips go from. And that's a really great spot to take the boat trips, particularly if you're staying on that side of the island.
When you are talking about Mauritius with your clients and people are looking to book a place there, what types of accommodation would you recommend they stay in?
There's all sorts of accommodation, isn't there? There's ranging from 2-3 star hotels right up to 5-star all-inclusive hotels. Villas, you can stay in villas. Have you got anything else?
Yeah, the accommodation's quite varied around the island as well. So as Mum said, you've got the luxury 5-star, you've got places like the Four Seasons, which are particularly famous. They have quite a lot of customers that visit their hotels around the world. You've got hotels like the Oberoi as well, which would offer more of your half-board stay. Gives you a little bit more flexibility on what you can see, what you can do when you're there. There's a few hotel chains that go with more of an authentic Mauritian style as well. So you have the Attitude hotels in particular. They're very, very focused on their local stay, local feel, local food. So particularly focusing on the Creole aspects of the island, which is what Mauritius is famous for. That's its culture. As Mum said, you've also got private villas. So if you just want that privacy of space, you can have a private villa, private pool villa or overlooking the beach if you want to as well.
But some of the hotels do, don't they, as well? The hotels also have their own private rooms, villas, and there's some that have your own apartments in them as well. So you can sort of basically sometimes be on your own, or you've got nice veranda and you can just walk through the nice gardens down to the beach. So yeah, but there's a lot of shaded areas as well, isn't there?
Yeah, lots of different areas to rest and relax whilst you're in the hotels as well before you get out and about.
Yeah.
They sound absolutely fantastic. With the climate that's in Mauritius, what's the best time of year to go?
Well, the best time really not to go, which most people seem to think that they can go straight after Christmas, because obviously a lot of the other places around the world it's their height of season. January, February is their cyclone season, and then the next best time to go is...
So the very best time to go is really the time that I went the second visit when I was there, which was late September, early October through to December. So it's a great destination for anyone travelling outside of school holidays. It's a great half-term destination for October. It's a great Christmas holiday destination as well if people are looking at going somewhere for the 2-week Christmas break. That's when the temperatures tend to be warm, but it's quite dry, so you get quite a nice climate. As January and February is cyclone season, so whilst you can go, you could take the risk of a cyclone coming in. It'll be warm and generally a lot wetter. March and April is a great time to go. Again, that incorporates the Easter school holidays, so it's really popular for the school holidays.
Yeah, it's not so hot either as
not
well.
so
If you're
hot.
taking the children, it's more of a, the climate for younger children, it's probably a good time for them to probably go and visit.
It's quite a
as well.
comfortable temperature. And then May through September is generally a confused time for Mauritius, because the north and the west is best. That's the best way to think about it. It's protected by the Le Morne mountain range from the trade winds that come through. I would generally avoid the south at that time because it generally tends to be a lot cooler and a lot windier. But the east coast the hotels are built for that time of year, so they're built with a lot of protection in mind from the trade winds that come through. So whilst it might be a little bit cooler, a little bit breezier, the hotels have been built to withstand those winds and also to protect customers when they're in resort, so that it can be comfortable whilst you're on the beach and whilst you're in the restaurants, so you can still have a really fantastic holiday. I've had clients travel to a lot of the resorts on the east coast during the summer school holidays and actually had fantastic holidays and no complaints.
Yeah,
so
I've had clients that have done July, August time. Have had really lovely
weather,
really
staying
lovely.
over on the west coast, wasn't
on the
it?
west coast it was, and they had lovely weather, and they took bikes out on the on walks on the beaches, etc. And they did say that they had a lovely time.
It's lovely. How warm would you say it gets usually?
Usually you're looking at temperatures of anywhere between 28 to about 32 degrees Celsius in those peak times, when the weather generally tends to be warmer. If you're going at the cooler times, you might be looking at feeling a bit more like the British summertime.
I was going to say it's more like the British weather, isn't it?
It's probably kind of your mid to late 20s.
Without the rain.
Without the rain, yeah.
Yeah.
Whilst it's cooler, it's drier than Britain, so it's probably a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're always going to get a nice temperature all year round. You've just got to make sure you're on the right part of the island at the right time of year.
What is there to do in Mauritius? Tell me a few of the things, like the excursions or other things, activities that you can do while you're there.
So there's the Black River Gorges National
right,
Park.
that's the
It's
one.
got a bit of a mouthful of a name. You've got the 7 coloured earth dunes, which you can go and visit, which are, as they say, they're dunes, and there's 7 different colours, and they're really, really pretty to go and see. You've got lots of different places around the island. You've got the botanical gardens for people that are interested in that type of thing. It's famous for its rum, so you can go and visit the sugarcane areas. There's a sugarcane museum, or there's something relating to the sugar production that you can go. So there's quite a lot of cultural things that you can go and do.
As you were saying, it's quite a coastal area. There are quite a lot of coastal resorts and villages, but are there any urban areas that Mauritius can offer?
Yes, there is.
There is, yeah. You can take the day trip to Port Louis. A lot of the hotels would offer a taxi service to take you over there if you wanted to, or you can pre-book an excursion with us.
It's
before
only a
you
day.
travel.
It's less than a day
It's
trip.
less
really?
than a day trip. It's somewhere really that you can incorporate, maybe with a visit to the botanical gardens on the same day. But the capital of Port Louis is it's a really lovely waterfront. It is a city. It's the capital. It's a very small city.
If you love shopping, then that's a day where you can go shopping, then have your lunch by the waterfront, isn't it? Yeah. So but it's nice to visit. It's
There's a particularly lively market there as well. So maybe anyone that wants to go and look at handicrafts, or anyone that's into their cooking, you can go to the local market. You may even find that if you're having a cookery lesson at a hotel, they might take you to the market to go and get the fresh food that you want to cook that day. That's generally the type of thing that you'll find going on there.
That sounds absolutely amazing. They say that the Indian Ocean is quite a romantic destination, so what are your thoughts about getting married there?
Yes, you can get married there. It's very easy to get married in Mauritius. You usually would have to stay there 3 to 4 nights before your wedding. You get all your paperwork, sorted, and you have to go to the capital, don't you, of Port Louis to register. But then usually if you're getting married, you've usually got a wedding coordinator, and they're usually there to help you, take your taxi there. It's all usually, everything is sorted for you. So yes, it's a really lovely destination to get married. And a lot of the hotels cater for weddings as well, don't they?
Yeah, and they'll cater for all sorts of different weddings, depending whether you want a beach wedding or a wedding in the gazebos that you see. There's lots of pictures from around the world where you'll see couples getting married in gazebos. I've had clients get married on a floating pontoon out on the lake, which was interesting to say the least. The hotels, as you say, will offer lots of different facilities for the wedding. So not only the wedding ceremony itself, but if you want to have dinner on the beach with fairy lights, or if you want to organise a private dinner somewhere in a romantic setting, you've got lots of different options. And that's the great thing about somewhere like Mauritius, it does offer a bit more flexibility in the kind of things that you can organise, and you can maybe be a little bit more creative if you want to, or if you want to keep it very simple, then you can just go away, the two of you, with witnesses, and have a very simple ceremony. It just really depends on that type
It's
of
just on your
experience you're
budget
looking
as
for.
well, isn't it?
Yeah, depending on how much money you want to spend.
You know, a lot of sometimes people want to get married abroad, but they can't. You know, they think it's expensive, but it isn't really. You, like Gemma said, you can go for a very low budget and just take your witnesses with you, or you can, you know, splash out and take family, friends,
Next door
yeah,
neighbour.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's all depends. It's what you're looking. It's whatever you're looking for, isn't it? You know,
Of
and then
course.
you can. Yeah.
Well, it sounds absolutely magical, really, doesn't it? So obviously we've just talked about getting married in Mauritius, but what if you're not a couple? What is there to do for those that, for maybe a family or someone that wants to go by themselves?
No, it's not a destination just suited for couples, but it's a lovely place actually to take your honeymoon. So as you say, some people just go, you know, get married and then have their honeymoon after. Some people will go on a safari to, say, South Africa, Kenya, and then they come to there for their beach stay, so they can, you know. But no, it's a destination for families, friends.
Yeah,
Isn't it? Yeah. But honeymooners, I mean, obviously they cater for people that go on honeymoon, and a lot of the hotels cater for people with honeymoons, with special, you know, like a beach. Gemma was saying earlier, you can have, you know, they have a meal on the beach for you. One thing that I do find strange with honeymooners is it's great for golfers, but they do seem to offer honeymooners free golf every day. So
Really?
that's
just what you want.
It's just what you want when you're on your
husband or
honeymoon.
wife. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of men do find that very interesting, that they can take their golf clubs with them and be on their honeymoon and play golf.
Wow.
But for families, it's
Yeah, it's a great destination. I would say Mauritius is a good destination for everybody. Some of the hotels even cater for your very upmarket hen dos, if that's the kind of thing you're looking
Yeah.
for. There's the St Regis, which I have seen advertises hen dos for. I mean, you're looking at an upper spend limit for a hen do in Mauritius for 4 days, but if you're looking for something very luxurious, a spa weekend with the girls, where
Yeah.
you can have great food, great wine, then that's certainly something that the island would offer. Great destination for families. The hotels offer lots of facilities for the children, particularly some resorts take the under twos into the
Yes.
kids clubs, which can be a struggle in some destinations across the world. So if you are travelling with younger children and you do want that couple of hours to go to the spa or to go and have a lovely lunch together, you've got the facilities for the kids club for your younger children to be catered for whilst you go and do that. Lots of water sports, lots of activities. There's so much to see and do, as we've already said. There's even more to do with families as well as a couple.
What's also good for families as well is a lot of the hotels actually do cater for families and family rooms, so they will actually have a separate area so you've got your own room and the children have their own area. It's in the same, you know, room, but it's in a different area, so it's quite nice that, you know, that you can be on your own whilst you're on holiday. The older children as well, they usually have a lot of connecting rooms, don't they? So the teenagers can, even though they're still with you, you can shut the door, you know, and they can, you know, so it's still that's what they cater for that as well.
The family suites are really a really good option, and the family villas as well. You'll get family villas in some of the higher end resorts. So if you're looking for something just that little bit extra special, it might be. I find that we get a lot of clients who are taking their 16-year-olds and their 18-year-olds away because it's GCSE year and A-level year, and as a reward for doing well in their exams, there's always a big family holiday as a part of that planning. So they go away and they'll get a 3 or 4 bedroom villa with a private pool right on the beach, and you've got kind of your privacy of your own space. It's like a home away from home, but not all of the facilities.
But not forgetting the mature people as well. You know, it does cater for us. Well, we have been talking about family, friends, and honeymoons, but yes, it is. You know, it does cater for mature people as well.
I'm glad there's something for everybody then.
There is.
And I'm really looking forward for you taking me away after I complete my degree. Mauritius sounds fantastic.
Did you hear that, Jenny?
Yeah.
I did hear that. Yeah.
It is on camera as well, so just to remember that. With Mauritius being in the Indian Ocean and being quite close to mainland Africa and being quite close to India or Dubai, would you visit any of those places while you were there?
Yeah, there's a Reunion Island. You visited.
Yeah.
You visited the Reunion Island.
So
didn't you?
Reunion Island is a lesser known island in the Indian Ocean. Not that many tour operators travel there. I think it's only been up and coming in recent years. It's somewhere that I was lucky enough to visit for a few nights. It's a 45-minute flight from the island of Mauritius. So you fly into Mauritius and then you fly on to Reunion. So if you're not tired enough after your 11, 12-hour flight, you then have a wait and you can, but it's really worth it when you get there. There's lots of adventure that you can go and do whilst you're on the island. So we took the jeeps out. We had private drivers who took us out in these big 4x4 jeeps, exploring the island. There's a volcano which is still active, which you can go and visit. And we actually went to the peak.
There's zip wiring there?
There's you can do zip wiring in Mauritius.
Okay,
I didn't do any zip wiring in Reunion, but there is a lot of kind of exploration by car and by foot. So it's really good for people that want to hike. It's really good for people that want to explore the island a bit more. We went up to the peak of the volcano, which is quite interesting because it's a bit like going to Mars. Because you're 1 minute you're driving through this lovely lush countryside and there's the odd deer here and there's lovely trees and botanicals, and then you close your eyes and they ask you to open your eyes after a couple of minutes of driving, and literally it's like you've just landed on Mars.
Wow.
It's absolutely fantastic. It was really great. Ironically, when we were there, the volcano decided it wanted to erupt the day that we visited. Fortunately enough, we managed to get back to the hotel, turned on the news, and there was a volcanic eruption that day.
You could say you got your money worth with that.
Definitely got our money's worth. They said it was an active volcano. It was an active volcano, and equally the same thing that happened was that obviously is because the plates have moved out at sea. Reunion is partly surrounded by a reef. And what that meant was that as the plates were moving, it was creating big tidal waves. So those big 10-foot waves were crashing against the roof. So as we were watching the sunset, all we could see were these massive tidal waves out to sea that were just crashing through, and it just carried on for hours and hours and hours. But it was fantastic. But yeah, lots of adventure. It's French owned, so actually when we were part of the EU, all you had to literally do was show your passport. Probably very similar now, but they'll probably check the passports a bit more. But French owned island, so you've got lots of French cuisine, you've got lots of French supermarkets. It's a destination for the French to go on holiday. You can fly direct there from Paris if you want to.
Does it have shops?
It does have sharks.
It has sharks.
Whilst they were very persuasive about how safe it was to swim in the lagoon of the hotel that we were staying in, I've read up about this. There are lots of bull shark attacks. It's one of the highest shark attack areas in the world, so I wouldn't recommend swimming. If you want to do your swimming and your snorkeling, you would then go over to Mauritius and enjoy the calm reefs and lagoons.
If you always wanted to swim with sharks,
I still wouldn't.
I still wouldn't recommend it.
I still wouldn't. They don't.
That's you.
Do it safely.
There are some. Yeah.
If you did want the shark dive experience, and you wanted to combine that again with Mauritius, then you can combine South Africa with Mauritius as well. So you could go and do a visit to Cape Town where you can do the shark dives.
Yeah.
You can do the drive along the garden routes. You've got safari that you can go and do there as well. So you can have a real adventure-packed holiday, and then you can fly over to Mauritius just a few hours away, and then you can go and have your beach stay, relax and unwind there if you want to. Or if you're just wanting something more of a city break, then if you wanted to fly via Dubai, you could tie in Dubai, like most places in the world. You could tie in Dubai, but Dubai and Mauritius is quite a popular combination.
I said personally myself, I would like to go. I prefer to do the cities after, so I like to relax on the beach, and then I would do Dubai on the way home. So it breaks the journey up on the way home. But getting back to saying you'd like to visit Reunion, in Mauritius, if you didn't want to take that 45-minute plane, Mauritius does have its own national park, and it has its own rainforest and waterfalls as well. So if you don't really want to have to go over to the island, you can still visit those places in Mauritius as well.
Brilliant, plenty to do. During the interview, it's become quite obvious that Mauritius is a place for those that want to walk and explore. So what can you do hiking wise there?
Well, yes, it is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like again we said, with the national with the national parks, you know, you can go trekking in the national parks.
You've got the Heritage Nature Reserve, which is in the south of the island, which is particularly popular with people staying in the resorts on the south. But if you wanted to take a day trip there, you can do, and you can go quad biking and explore the nature reserve. Walking trails, so many walking trails inland Mauritius. There's also some mountain climbing that you can do as well. So there's lots of exploration and adventure if you're a walker, you're a hiker, if you're a golfer. We've already mentioned the golf resorts. A lot of the hotels will offer golf included in an all-inclusive stay, or the green fees if you want to go and play golf on some of the courses. They're not particularly expensive in comparison to what you'd pay in the places around the UK or some other maybe famous courses in the States as well. So you've got lots that you can go and see.
I mean, lots of the hotels will offer lots of things for you to do, and the hotels offer bikes, and then you can go bike riding.
Yeah, I went cycling actually when I was in Mauritius on the south coast. The hotel had bicycle hire included in the all-inclusive package. So we took the bikes out and went cycling just to explore the local village or of the rugged coastline away from the pristine beach resorts that you'll find. There was archery, lots of tennis, lots of water sports. So you've got kayaking.
It's usually all included as well, isn't it? A lot of the water sports and things like that in the hotels are included as well, so it's not an extra cost. But obviously you have to check that with the hotels that you visit.
And we'll always make sure we let you know what's included before you book and before you travel. I know that tennis is quite popular for people wanting to travel to Mauritius, so mainly you'll get the tennis courts, the use of the tennis courts. You may then have to pay for the balls, you may have to pay for the hire of the rackets, but equally if you take your own because you prefer to take your own, then that obviously helps with any additional costs when you're in the hotels. But there is a lot, if you're an active traveller, there is an awful lot to keep you occupied whilst you're there, but equally it's famous for its beaches and its lagoons and its reefs, and you can sit, relax
with your cocktail
and do nothing.
With your rum in.
Absolutely.
That sounds the perfect active to me.
Or Gemma Prosecco.
I do like a glass of Prosecco.
You do like a glass of Prosecco.
But yeah, when I'm away, I do enjoy the rum, particularly the Mauritian rum, which we were lucky enough to find actually when we were in the UK. So you can get it over here if you want to. But yeah, famous rum cocktails, amazing food, great destination for dining as well. Recently featured on MasterChef in the finals week. If anyone was a fan of that, they'll have seen the Hotel Concerts Bar Mer Plage was featured, and they did some cooking whilst they were staying there. Really beautiful hotel, lots of dining options, Michelin star restaurants across Mauritius if you want
to watch just the last one.
It was really really worthwhile in finals week watching that if you want to know a little bit more and just get a feel for the destination, particularly if you're into the cookery and the cuisine. The Creole with lots of Indian and Chinese influence, lots of Indian influence as well, but equally you can get your burger and chips for lunch if you want to. You can get your full English breakfast in the morning if that's what you're after as well. So you can really stick to what you know, or if you really want to try something new, then there's lots to try.
It's like most places, isn't it? If you want to be adventurous, then you can be adventurous and go and check out all the the cuisine that you want, or if you're not, then stick to what you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for speaking to me. I've got one question. Where next?
So next week we are going to be talking about villa holidays. So in the current climate, lots of people thinking about where they're going to be able to travel next, thinking about obviously social distancing is on people's minds, and we think villa holidays will be definitely something that will be in the forefront of people's minds. So
so it's just nice to just sort of go around the world, a little bit around the world, and just sort of show, tell people where they can stay in a villa, or if not villas, in hotels that that you can have your own pool if you want to. So yeah, that's what we'll be talking about next week.
Well, that's it for us. We hope that you've enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you next time for At Home with the Harveys. Bye bye.